Hi, everybody. Welcome to my Other's Keeper. Oh, welcome to my friend Bryan Lucas, the poet
Hi.
extraordinaire. In the chat, we
Are,
have Daniel Berry Sports Highlights and
are we
Crystal M.
are we
and
going?
Indigo Twin.
There we are.
Indigo Twin, I'm not familiar with you, so that's awesome. Nice to see you.
Mm.
Okay. Um, yes, so we are hoping to be live with Facebook and on YouTube. If you're here from Facebook, let me know. If you're here from YouTube, let me know so I know which one is working better. If the Facebook one worked at all, I don't know. So, anyways, but we are here to talk about the healing properties of writing. And if if you've been paying attention to any of our past streams with Bryan, you will know that he has a very complex story. And in that, that's the nice way of putting it. So he has a complex story. We've done a few videos with him. So go into my playlist and look under playlists, and you will find Bryan. And you
Mhm.
can hear all of the backstory that we've talked about so far. Um,
Yes.
how much do we have left to cover? I think we've done most of it, haven't we?
Oh no, we still got some stuff in my 20s,
Oh, gracious, yeah. And you're
and
more
then
than 20, so
oh yeah,
yeah.
yeah, and then we got we got my naval career. Well, my time in the Navy, and then what
Oh,
happened after that.
wow.
Yeah, oh God, yeah, we're not. We
Oh, we're nowhere near done. Oh,
nowhere near. So yeah, we got a lot more we can
okay.
talk about. It just depends on
Got
how
some meat
in
and potatoes.
just depends on how in
Awesome.
depth you want to go too.
Honey, you want to go there? I'll take you.
So
So,
yeah, and
yeah.
in the long run, it'll help me out too because I want to get this all going and get used to talking about it, and
Yep.
then maybe I can get over that barrier to actually writing the prose. Because
Yes.
like I told you last time, well, poetry works for me better because it's short, compact. It can be short, compact. I can my ADD trauma brain is just like
Yep.
it's more conducive to that. And
Yep.
then because doing the prose, I can get bored with it, and also like I've talked with like my therapists about it before, like starting like with doing videos and like approaching it that way, start doing videos and recording about it, and then using that to uh,
Mm-hmm.
as a basis for an actual narrative.
Absolutely.
And
Yep.
doing it like this will get me more used to it. Like and
Yes.
so I've
So,
actually become. How you don't like hearing yourself recorded.
yes.
I've actually become used to that. That's one of the things doing.
Nice.
I force myself to watch my videos. Okay.
Awesome. That's
Like,
excellent.
and it also helps me improve with my delivery, and I can go, okay, I
Mm-hmm.
can do this better next time, this better next time, this better,
Mm-hmm.
and all that stuff. And
Yep.
it's helped. It's helped me improve my self image somewhat and all that stuff because
Good.
it's cliche. Like like I said last time, when I said last time, it's about finding that validation.
Absolutely.
Finding validation in the eyes of someone else is a good thing, but yeah, it's a good you have a little bit in here too,
That's right.
and then
Yeah.
it can go hand in hand.
Yeah. Yeah. And today, I was initially going to have a different guest on. He is unfortunately really not feeling well today. So
Yeah,
Bryan so
yeah.
graciously decided that he would be willing to come on and chat.
Well,
So thank you.
you're
And
quite
in
welcome.
preparation for that, I wrote a couple poems.
Oh, okay, cool,
So yeah,
cool.
it's
If you wanna, or whenever you wanna, I'll be more than happy to listen whenever you want to do
awesome.
that, especially if we run out of something to talk about. But as far as my schedule goes, it conducive because, like I discussed last time, I had
Hmm.
the only thing I had to do was go to court today and
And
got
that's
that.
done.
That's done, taken care of. I got to pay out the butt for my mistakes, but you know that's
Yes.
that and that kind of like started this 2 year journey that ended today. Well, not ended, but a step of it is done today, so I can
Right.
get on to the next. Like we talked about the future, getting back in school. I want to get work on my history and then creative writing, uh,
Hmm.
and stuff. So that and go from there.
Right. I'm just writing myself a note to talk to you about your 20s
I was really
and
more in my 20s.
Navy.
Yeah, because yeah, after I get well, yeah, there's all kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
There's the pros and my
So Indigo started with prose, and his advice, Indigo, are you male or female
uh,
or non-binary? I don't know who you are.
um
Um, do you happen to know Brian?
um well, biologically female. I
Okay.
don't know. I don't know. Non-binary. Yeah,
Non-binary.
that's
Okay,
what I
that works.
figured. That's what I figured. I remember you coming on. I remember Indigo Twin coming on a live. It was a while back where they had some kind of Q&A thing. I forgot who it was actually through. Now I remember them mentioning that.
Awesome. Okay.
Yeah.
So Indigo started with prose, and their advice to anyone switching is to take it slow. The
Yeah.
story will unfold when it's ready to. Like Tommy says,
Yeah.
um, you just, when you're ready to learn, the teacher will appear. And that probably is from some very great thinker. I just don't know who it is. For me, it's just Tommy.
Eh,
Um,
it might be. It might be. It might. That sounds very Eastern. So I don't know.
it does. It really does. It sounds, yeah, definitely Eastern. So, okay.
No, but
So,
it's.
go ahead.
Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
So, if we want to start, let's start then talking about your 20s. And then when we've talked about that a bit, we can go into how
Well,
you have developed through that, or would you prefer not to?
well. The big thing about my 20s was my 20s were like two different phases.
Mm,
I had in my early 20s, late teens, early 20s was college,
right.
and I didn't do very well in college.
Oh no.
No, partially because I wasn't prepared for it, but I
Mm,
wasn't mature enough in a lot of respects,
yep.
and I didn't really know how to write a proper essay
Mm-hmm.
until I got taught how to write a proper essay in my freaking comp 1 and comp 1 and comp 2 classes. Stuff that
Mm,
is, remember, my school was, its main purpose was to make good farm hands.
right. It wasn't
That
made for intellectuals.
no, yeah, it's yeah, it was for these, in a lot of ways it was still stuck back in the 50s and 60s as far as all that goes.
Oh, for
You
sure.
know,
Yeah.
yeah, and my high school, there the administrators just weren't. How did I had a teacher. His name's Ted Dyes. He said something that stuck with me. And this was back when I was like 17 years old. He said, "I had a missed opportunity. It was
Mm-hmm.
basically a publicly funded private school."
Oh, wow.
Right.
Okay.
That's because of the such small teacher student
Mm,
ratio.
yes. Yeah.
Okay,
Absolutely.
and it suffered from a lot of poor administrations and being um, a low man on the totem pole as far as all that. Just trying to catch up. Like I said, it was still stuck
Yeah.
in that previous, in the previous year. Just like but now it's. I don't know how they are now as
Mm-hmm.
far as all that goes because I don't have any kids in schools, and I don't
Yeah.
I don't
Fair.
hang, I don't make it it's I don't so I don't know how the education system is now, and I thought about being a teacher at one point. I probably
Mhm.
still could.
Mhm.
I don't know if I want. I was a bus driver one of the things I did after I got out of the Navy was I drove bus for a little while in San Antonio, and middle schoolers are evil.
Yes, they are.
I
Not a
was
fan.
like, I was never like that, and I was never like that when I was that age. But
Yeah, you were.
yeah, no, I was always a good boy though.
Actually, I tended to be a good kid.
Yeah. So it was like school. I was trying to find myself. I started going by my first name,
Mhm.
David, to try. I guess I did it to try to distance myself from my upbringing,
Mhm.
from just all that, and try to figure myself out. Was I Bryan or was I David? Was I Bryan? And it
Right.
was like I was floating in two different worlds. I'd
Which
be at
one were you more regularly called as a child?
Bryan.
Bryan? Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
Bryan. I went by Bryan all my life. There's a reason. Um, I have an uncle named David,
Mhm.
and my dad's middle name was David.
Right.
Well, my dad always said my first name was always after him, and my mom always said I was named after my uncle,
Which is her brother?
her brother.
Okay.
Biggest problem with my uncle is he is homosexual.
Okay.
My dad was homophobic.
Bingo. Got it. Okay.
Bingo. That ain't no way in hell I'm ain't calling my son after that. Fill in the blank.
Yeah. That
So
bushel of sticks. Okay. Yep.
yeah, yes. So yeah, it was a big secret in the freaking in my mom's side of the family. You know,
Right.
yeah, and you can imagine my brother, my brother, not my oldest brother, but the middle brother, the one who's cruel to me.
Right.
You fucking named after you little fat named after so yeah, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, so I was actually more comfortable with Bryan, but it was just me trying to find myself, and
Yep.
it's just how you label it. I didn't like the nickname I was given when I was a kid,
Mm.
uh,
Mhm.
so I was just trying to separate myself from that, trying to escape it,
Mhm.
and then I was preoccupied with you know stuff with my what I know now
Mhm.
was stuff from from dealing with stuff from my childhood and all that stuff
Mhm.
just and then I would just screw off classes because I was not focused. Again, it was
Mhm.
like I was trying to get I did took a lot of literature classes and all that stuff. I
Mhm.
didn't know exactly what I wanted to do,
Mm.
you know. Uh,
Right.
at that time I didn't have a too big of an interest as far as love of history, but still not too big of an interest. I was like more towards the writing or and all that stuff. Just trying to find
Oh,
myself.
yeah.
And like I dropped out my last. I went to school for 5 years for 4.5 years. Yeah, and just dropped out. And stopped
So
going.
grades 10, 11, and 12 were the best 5 years of your life?
Say again.
Grades 10, 11, and 12 were the best 5 years of your life?
Nah,
No?
no.
Okay.
No. My college. I went to school. I went to college for 5 years.
Right. Right. Right.
I
Right.
graduated. I graduated when I was 18. As far as school
Right.
goes, as far as high
Okay.
school goes, fine. As that was all. It was It was
College, that was the
college that
rough
was
go.
tough.
Yeah.
I wasn't prepared for, and like I said, I wasn't prepared both intellectually and emotionally for that
Yes.
time period.
Right.
But that's when I discovered that that I was a poet.
Oh.
Yes. Let me show you this. Can you see this?
Yes.
First tattoo I got. I have
Yeah.
like 13 of them. I have like 13 of them.
Okay. I
First
have
tattoo.
3.
First tattoo I got. It's a Pegasus. It needs to be. Needs to be redone. You know,
Mm.
but it's a Pegasus. I didn't find out till a couple years, about a couple years after. It was like a year or so after I got
Mhm.
this,
Mhm.
that the Pegasus is the Greek symbol for the poet slash bard.
Really?
Yeah,
Okay.
I remember. I'd always wanted a tattoo, right? Always wanted
Yep.
one. I used to draw on myself when I was a kid. You know,
Yep. Yep.
I don't know. We take these. You take the like the temporary tattoos you get in the bottom in the Cracker Jack box.
Yes.
Loved them. Loved them. I
Yes.
love. And then we used to like take these. It was the wrappers on bread wrap on bread wrappers.
Mm.
You could take
Mhm.
them and cut out like those. I remember the bozo, right? You could cut it
Okay.
out and you could use alcohol and it would transfer over onto your skin. You know,
Yes, it would.
yeah. So I was destined to get tattoos. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Like even talking about it makes me want to go get one. Yeah.
No suggestibility there. You have it
No, no,
all.
no.
Yep.
Once you get one, you're addicted. Most
Kinda,
of the
sorta,
time.
yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I remember walking into the tattoo shop and going to the little flash art things and seeing the Pegasus and going, I want that.
That's awesome. How old were you?
19.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, I was 19. And it was and then I took a class. You know, I remember taking a class and one of the many literature classes I took and it was like, yeah, for the poet, and I was
Mhm.
like, oh, cool. So yes, I am a poet. I identify. I personally identify as a poet.
You have a soul as a poet. Yes.
Yes, yes. So,
Oh, that's awesome.
but yes,
Indigo Twin was 18 when they got there first,
yeah,
and
that's cool.
uh,
Yeah,
13 in. Oh, okay. As
yeah,
well as they love their ink.
I have like this is a Star Wars based tattoo,
Yeah,
Batman.
of course.
Uh,
What's the
this is
script on your forearm?
this right here.
Yeah.
This is my tribute to my dad and my brother.
Oh. Oh.
I got my dad's initials, his
Hmm.
nickname, and his dates, and I have my brother's initials, nickname, and dates.
Okay.
Yes, and you know, it was a wait because I never got to have any closure with my dad. All right.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
Yes, I see. He had hinted to a bunch of things that I talked to you about. We talked about previously the
Hmm.
infidelity, and then the crap with my
Right.
foster brother or stepdad. You know,
Right.
that crap. To talk about
Yeah.
over the years, and then my mom had hinted at this, that, and the other, and you know, and at one point in my this was he passed away in '97, so I was 25, 26, 25. And I was just like, you know,
Yes.
it's best not and it was at that point with him, I was like, I'm just going to tell him it takes three, it takes two, or in this case, three to tango. And, you
Hmm.
know, but I was, so, but I didn't want to do it over the phone.
No. And back then, texting really wasn't a thing.
No, and he didn't have, and email was just starting out here in the Sticks.
Brand new. Yeah.
Yeah, and he didn't have it, right? He didn't have, and he was going to come out to visit
Okay.
because he hadn't been in Arkansas since the early '80s when my mom got married to uh, my sister's father.
Mm.
And
Hmm.
we ended up and then we moved to North Carolina for those several years, right?
Hmm.
Um, so I I wanted to tell him, you know, I
Yeah.
understood why
Yeah.
he and you know why things happen, why they happen.
Yeah.
and didn't get a chance to because I was work. It was after college, so I was no longer in college. I was working.
Right.
It was one of the many jobs I had between the time that I dropped out of college and I went into the Navy.
Mm. Mm-hmm.
And I come home from work. I'm living here. I'm living,
Mm-hmm.
and my sister, she she she's outside waiting on me. She goes, I don't know how to tell you this, but your dad passed away today. And it was just instant. My heart, something in me broke. Yeah. And,
Yeah.
yeah. And I remember calling them, and I'm not even going to claim this woman. I used to claim her as my stepsister. I'm not going to claim her anymore. I don't claim her anymore. Uh,
Okay.
um, Big reason she been, yeah. uh, she started making. I just wanted to know what happened, and she was going, "Where have you been these last 20 years? You could have stayed with your dad and didn't go with your mom." Nah, nah. Yeah,
Oh my word.
yeah. And I just, and all I wanted to know is what happened. He'd had a massive heart attack.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
what yeah, he'd been taken. He'd always been a big guy,
Mm-hmm.
right? And they try and figure out how to help him lose weight
Mm-hmm.
because, but and see, I never knew the man under 500 pounds.
Oh wow. That's a
Big,
big guy.
big. Yeah, and he was a big baby. He'd always been big, always. You know,
Okay.
he almost killed my grandma in childbirth. He was that big.
Ooh.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's the story I was always told. And I don't know if you remember that Fin stuff from the mid
Yes.
'90s. He was
Yes.
taking that shit. He was taking that stuff,
And it killed people.
and it killed him.
Yep.
My stepmother, his widow,
Wow.
didn't find out. Of course, she was weak without him. She was weak without him,
Right.
right?
Right.
She let her daughter, the one I don't claim anymore, um,
Mm-hmm.
walk all over her after my dad
Yeah.
and after my dad passed
Yeah.
and and uh, she didn't find out about the class action suits and all that other stuff
Any of that.
until and I didn't find out about it because I could have, I probably could until afterwards. Not that any monetary thing would have brought my dad back, but it would have made up for what
But like you said, the closure, the
yeah, and it would have made up for what my I'm not even going to call her my stepsister did.
what
She,
did she do?
my family, that side of my family had a lot of land.
Mm-hmm.
The land was supposed to go to me and my brothers. He died without a
Okay.
will,
Oh no.
so it all went to my stepmother.
Yes. And she gave it to her daughter,
No, her daughter talked her into selling it.
to her.
They no, they sold it to an investor
Oh
for
wow.
dirt
Okay.
cheap. They sold it to an investor, and the money just went.
I could see why you would hold a little resentment against that.
Yeah, yeah, and that's my
Wow.
issue. That's my issue because there was this place. There was one of those good childhood memories. We called it the sand pile. It was a lot of sandstone. It was a sandstone formation on top of a granite
Right?
mountain, right?
Oh
So you
wow.
think of all the freaking natural crap that you'd find there, and
Oh yeah.
I wanted that little. It was like a couple acres
Yeah.
out of 40 acres. A lot of it was on the side of a hill. There's a lot of natural gas there. There's a lot of timber there. Someone could have made could have done uh, the same. Could have done some wise management and everything, and
Right?
actually could have made a wise penny off of it.
For
Not
sure.
because that's what my dad had planned. I remember him telling me that he planned on
Mm,
doing some timbering, selective timbering, and actually making a couple hundred grand off of it because there's some old hardwood there and
right. Oh,
stuff.
wow.
No, 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 it was all yeah. So, but I wanted that spot, and that was going to be, I was going to, at one point in a parallel universe, I actually, if my plans when I the plans I had for that in my 20s
Hmm.
would have come to fruition, I'd have a cabin there right now. You know,
Oh,
that's what I
I've
wanted to do there.
I've heard it said that one of the best things a man can have is land
Yeah.
because
Well,
it doesn't really devalue, because you can do whatever you want on it.
yeah,
And
and
so owning your own piece of dirt
yeah, but that's
is
why I'm glad that my mom, one of the few good decisions she ever made was buying the property that I live on now.
right.
So, in a way, I got what I wanted because it's mine. My
Right.
sister, my sister has her own land, all this stuff. But anyways,
Hmm.
so things work out the way I hate to be fatalist. Things work out the
The
way
way
they
they
work out.
should. Yeah.
Yeah, and when I joined the Navy, my first what I wanted to do was at 50 retire and where I could, if I wanted to, fish on a pond bank, if I wanted to.
Absolutely.
I'm
Yeah.
52 years old and I don't have to work if I don't want to.
Right.
I have my disability, and
Right.
and I have to be, of course, I have to be careful which occupations I have. It's not like I can go,
Yeah.
swing a hammer like I used to,
Yeah.
and that's why I want to, get my butt back in school and all that stuff and figure out
Yes.
from there. But things work out. It's like, okay, you get what you sometimes you get what you strive for. You just don't get
Hmm.
it exactly how you wanted it.
Frequently, you don't.
No,
It's
and
it's
it's
usually in a different iteration,
yeah,
and you either learn to deal with it or you can really embrace it. You know.
so. But it's so that's was a lot of crap that happened in my 20s, and like I jumped after I dropped out of school. I jumped from job to job, trying to search for
Hmm.
myself. At one point, me and a couple buddies of mine were actually. I learned how to play drums. That was one of the. I do have an electronic drum set.
Oh.
I need some amplification for it.
Ah. Yes.
But so I do want to get another drum kit. I had to actually sell that thing. I bought it. It was a beautiful, beautiful purple pearl Pro Export Series drum kit. I loved that thing. And me and a couple friends of mine, a couple people I grew up with, we would jam together and stuff. And then
Fun.
and of course I had to sell them
Hmm.
to actually had this after I quit playing with them because I got my heart broke, and I didn't feel like I was being listened to as far as the creative side of our musical
Mm.
enterprise,
Hmm.
and I just said if I could quit, you know,
Yeah, because you're only the drummer. You're not a musician.
yeah. And unfortunately, when it comes to music, I have these.
Yeah.
I have these. That's another thing that I really wish I would have, if I could, and can get back into writing. I have these
Hmm.
melodies, and I have
Oh.
that go through my head, right?
Right.
I just don't have the ability to put them down. My ear,
Yep.
my ear sucks. As
Okay.
far as the different tones, I know these days I could probably you can get those the computer programs where I
Yes.
could just go or whatever, and it would map it out, the auto tune or whatever. But to me
Right. Yeah.
that's cheating. you know.
I have to agree. Yeah,
That that
auto-tune
that is
is not
cheating.
a replacement for talent.
No, no, it's definitely not a replacement. But you know, but I get these like I get these melodies in my head, and it's like I'll put in the different word, you know, try to figure out how to put the
Yep.
follow the cadence and follow, you know, the rhythm or whatever. I've
That's
gotten
exactly
several,
how I write poetry.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, and that's how I write. I don't call them song lyrics, but I've got a few things that I'm working on that could be made into song lyrics. One thing is definitely song lyrics that I'm trying to find a musician. I was talking. I don't know if you know who Marcus Sawyer is.
I know
He's
the
an
name, I don't know why.
he's an ex Scientologist.
Okay.
He was on staff. He was a friend of Doug Scott Kramer. I don't know if you know who Doug Kramer is. If you hang
Again, I
around
know the name.
if you hang around SPTV, especially some of the more smaller channels and stuff, we talk about
Mhm.
Doug a lot. We talk about Doug a lot.
Mm,
I talk with. I actually had Marcus on my channel. Yes, definitely. Rest in peace. Rest, Doug. Yeah, I don't want to go there. Um,
okay.
um, but Marcus, he and I talk offline. He's actually on my channel doing, you know, my live streams I do on my
Nice.
channel. He was on there
Yeah,
a couple of weeks ago and stuff, and I've talked with him about maybe helping me, but he, you know, he's busy and everything. But yeah, uh, there are certain things that I write that could be easily put to music, and
right.
I'll just get these ideas and um, anyways, I didn't know if I was going to get a little emotional because Doug is a very it's a wound still. It's raw, and
Yeah.
he passed in December, and yeah, it's
I am so sorry for your loss, my friend.
you know, he was a loss to all of us.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Okay.
But so back to the 20, back to that. So tried to mess it, and one of the things I wanted to do as far as the, you know, I still would like to find some musicians to actually play with, you know, play drums, but
That'd be fun.
yeah, and that's another thing to getting out there into the world, getting back into the world,
Yes.
and the big one of the big things in my 20s is when I fell in love with the married chick.
Not a good idea, my friend.
Oh,
Yeah.
I talked to you about that. That's the little the. I remember talking to you about the
Yes.
she how she ended up here in
Yes.
the very spooky,
Coincidental things
way
that,
too coincidental. If you believe in fate, that was
yep.
I was fated to meet that girl. I was fated
Mhm.
to meet that woman. You know, and
Yeah.
there's certain things, you know, and she did give she was inspiration for probably the one of the more interesting poems I've ever written. Um,
The last poem in one of your books, right?
yes, eyes I dare
Yeah.
not meet in dreams. The
That's the
last
one.
that yes, the last poem in this one.
All right.
Yes, that's that one big that really long one where I go
That's
through
right.
all the color imagery, and then the
Right.
dreams. You know, I tried to be very I tried to be a little bit you know, a little bit a little magical realism a little bit with it,
Mm.
and I
Mhm.
also tried to channel T.S. Eliot with that one.
Okay.
If you
Your inner
read
Elliot.
if you read the love song of J. Alfred Prufrock and then read that one, you'll see where I got a lot
You'll see
of
some flinging back and
definite
forth.
imitations. Definitely, yeah, I was definitely unconsciously imitating that. Yes, T.S. Eliot.
Okay.
If I remember, uh, there was this on one of the mini poetry groups I'm on one of the poetry groups I'm on Facebook. someone
Mm-hmm.
asked a question: if there's one poem you could have, if you were on a desert island and you only had one poem to read for the rest of your life, what would that be? Immediately, the love song of J. Alfred Prufrock, hands down.
Hmm.
Not the Wasteland. The Wasteland's too damn weird. But yeah, I
For you?
love.
Is that possible,
It's
my
it's
friend?
it's too it's too it's very dead. Of course, I haven't read The Wasteland since I was in college. Uh,
Okay.
so it's been like 30, almost 30 years since I've read that.
Don't even say that. That's not okay with me.
Yeah,
My
the love.
older daughter turned 25 today. 20.
Oh boy, the love song
And
of
I know
JF.
how old I was when she was born.
If you want to get a, if you really want to get an insight into my, to how I view myself, proof
Hmm.
rock.
Okay.
I view
Okay.
myself, especially when I was in my 20s. You know how
Right.
a lot of that imagery. He's an observer.
Yeah.
He's also had. There's a lot of, uh, you know, I do not. Where he's talking about the mermaid singing. I do not think they will sing for me. You know, all that stuff. That proof,
Okay.
that character type, I very much
Mm-hmm.
identified with proof rock.
Mm-hmm.
So that's one of those poems that spoke to me,
Okay.
and everything. So yes, I am a, yeah. I like Eliot. Sylvia Plath is actually very interesting. I have her Ariel. I think that's the name of the collection. I forgot what the name of her, what she's most known for. But yeah, T.S. Eliot, Robert Frost, yeah, Emily Dickinson, yes, Poe, of course. And then there's
Yeah.
the romantics. There's Eliot. There's like I told you last. There's Blake. There's Wordsworth. There's Keats. There's Byron. There's there's Tennyson. There's freaking oh, Robert Browning. Um, just a bunch of them. Yeah, Robert Frost. Actually, I do a I do a, oh, I call it a reading series on my channel where it's just featured poems I like.
Mm-hmm.
First one, Edgar Allan Poe, Annabelle Lee. Second one, Robert Frost, stopping by the woods on a snowy evening.
Right.
That was the first two I did on there.
Nice.
Yeah,
Nice. One
so
of my favorite poems is kind of a comedic one, written by Robert Service. Is that his name? Robert Service, called The
okay.
Cremation of Sam McGee.
Ah,
Are you familiar with that one?
no, I'm not familiar with that.
Can I read it to you?
Sure.
It's a fun story. It's a fun story.
Oh, yeah,
There are
sure.
strange things done in the midnight sun by the men who moil for gold. The Arctic trails have their secret tales that would make your blood run cold. The northern lights have seen queer sights, but the queerest they ever did see was that night on the marge of Lake Lebarge where I cremated Sam McGee. Now, Sam McGee was from Tennessee, where the cotton blooms and blows. Why he left his home in the south to roam round the North Pole, God only knows. He was always cold, but the land of gold seemed to hold him like a spell, though he'd often say in his homely way that he'd sooner live in hell. On Christmas Day, we were mushing our way over the Dawson Trail. Talk of your cold! Through the parka's fold it stabbed like a driven nail. If our eyes we'd closed, then the lashes froze till sometimes we couldn't see. It wasn't much fun, but the only one to whimper was Sam McGee. And that very night, as we lay packed tight in our robes beneath the snow, the dogs were fed and the stars o'erhead were dancing heel and toe. He turned to me, Cap, he said, I'll cash in this trip, I guess. And if I do, I'm asking that you won't refuse my last request. Well, he seemed so low that I couldn't say no. Then he says with sort of a moan, "'Tis this cursed cold, and it's got right hold till I'm chilled clean through to the bone. Yet ain't being dead, it's my awful dread of the icy grave that pains. So I want you to swear, foul or fair, that you'll cremate my last remains."
Mhm.
A pal's last need is the thing to heed, so I swore that I would not fail. And we started And we started on a streak of dawn, but God, he looked ghastly pale. He crouched on the sleigh and he raved all day of his home in Tennessee. And before nightfall, a corpse was all that was left of Sam McGee. There wasn't a breath in the land of death, and I hurried, horror driven, with a corpse half hid that I couldn't get rid because of a promise given. It was lashed to the sleigh, and it seemed to say, "You may tax your brawn and brains, but you promised true, and it's up to you to cremate those last remains." Now, a promise made is a debt unpaid, and the trail has its own stern cold. In the days to come, though my lips were dumb, in my heart I knew I cursed that load. In the long, long night, by the lone firelight, while the huskies in round a ring howled out their woes to their homeless snows, oh God, how I loathed that thing. And every day that quiet clay seemed to heavy and heavier grow. And on I went though the dogs were spent and the grub was getting low. The trail was bad and I half mad, but I swore that I would not give in. I'd often sing to that hateful thing, and it hearkened with a grin. Till I came to the marge of Lake Lebarge, and there a derelict lay. It was jammed in the ice, but I saw it trice, and it was called the Alice May. And I looked at it, and I thought a bit, and I looked at my frozen chum. Then here, I said with a sudden cry, is my crematorium. Some planks I tore from the cabin floor, and I lit the fire. Some coal I found that was lying around, and I heaped the fuel higher. The James flames just soared, and the furnace roared, such a blaze you seldom see. And I burrowed a hole in the glowing coal, and I stuffed in Sam McGee. Then I made a hike, for I didn't like to hear him sizzle so. And as the heavens scowled, the huskies howled, and the winds began to blow. It was icy cold, but the hot sweat rolled down my cheeks, and I don't know why. And the greasy smoke in the inky cloak went streaking down the sky. I do not know how long in the snow I wrestled with my grisly fear, but the stars came out and they danced about ere again I ventured near. I was sick with dread, but I bravely said, "I'll peep inside. I guess he's cooked," and it's time I looked. And then the door I opened wide. And there sat Sam, looking cool and calm in the heart of the furnace roar. And he wore a smile you could see a mile. And he said, "Please close that door. It's fine in here, but I greatly fear you'll let in the cold and storm. Since I left Plum Tree down in Tennessee, this is the first time I've been warm. There are strange things done in the midnight sun by the men who moil for gold. The Arctic trails have their secret tales that would make your blood run cold. The northern lights have seen queer sights, but the queerest they ever did see was the night on the marge of Lake Lebarge, where I cremated Sam McGee." Isn't that an awesome poem? I
Yeah,
love that one.
it's got that sing-songy that I think it's the iambic pentameter or whatever.
Iambic pentameter or something
Yeah,
like that. Yeah.
that's one of the basic ones, one of the basic cadences, and
Yes.
and uh, what Joel says here. By the way, thanks for showing up, dude. How's it going? Um,
Yeah.
um, is it the thing about poetry,
Mm-hmm.
and it it's such a very versatile art form,
It is.
because it can be. Here's an example of a poem. It's called "The Cathedral Is
Mm-hmm.
Slated for Demolition."
Mm-hmm.
That's the whole poem. It's a title and one
Wow.
line.
That is some poetry.
My composition two teacher talked for 30 minutes on the cathedral is slated for demolition. You got slate,
Right.
demolition. There's just all kinds of stuff you can.
Yeah.
So,
And
and then you've
Misha
got
has a very good, sorry, Misha has a very good point. It's journally, only fancified.
you know,
That's
uh,
kind of, yeah.
and it's and you can it can either be as direct like the story, you know,
Mm-hmm.
or you can be obscure,
Mm-hmm.
like Elliot. you know,
Absolutely.
there's all kinds of stuff you can do with it. But
Yeah.
if you've all you gotta do is write. You know, it doesn't matter if you get into a cadence and you can want to do a
Mm-hmm.
rhyme, great. But one of the first lessons in poetry I remember getting was from my mom.
Mm-hmm.
I was in the sixth grade, okay,
Mm-hmm.
and it was when we still had spelling lessons,
Right.
and one of our lessons was to one of the assignments for that particular week was to take all of our spelling words and write a poem. I remember it. I remember having imagery in it of the moon. That's
Mm-hmm.
what I remember. And I remember rhyming every line except for the last one, and I could not figure out how to rhyme the last line. And I go up to my
Oh
mom.
no.
I go to my mom and I go, Mom, does poetry always have to rhyme? And she goes, No. And then it
No.
was just like, okay, and I finished it.
There you go.
I was in the sixth grade, and I really didn't write much between that time and then when I turned 16 and I quit dipping. So, uh, but yeah, I think I was destined to be a poet.
Yeah.
It's me. It's my, it's one of it's the thing I identify as. I'm a poet.
Yep.
I'm a poet,
Yep.
and I know it. And my
And I'm an
words show it.
artist,
Yeah,
which
yeah,
is like just a very, you
yeah,
know, ethereal
yeah,
thing.
yeah. Because a lot of art is art is up here.
Absolutely. Yep. Art is up there.
It starts here, and then it's 90%, like with most things in life. It's 90% perception.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
That's
nine
right.
tenths of nine tenths of reality resides in Mark One eyeballs.
Wow. Yeah.
You know, it's that 10% that can really screw you up, though. Like I got an example. You've heard of the Winnebago tribe, right?
No.
Winnebago Indians. They're from like around the Great Lakes area and all that stuff.
Okay.
They got this trickster cycle. I love it. Oh, it's the
Okay.
the freaking the stories are hilarious, right? Oh,
Okay.
tricksters walk in this one particular one. Tricksters walking along, he's walking along doing his thing, and he looks over at the edge of a lake and he sees this dude pointing towards a village that's across the lake. He sees this thing,
Mm-hmm.
it looks like this dude's pointing, and he goes, "Brother, what are you pointing at? What's going on?" But he doesn't get an answer. He starts getting mad. It's like trying to get this. What's he? Why is this thing pointing? Why is this dude pointing out at the village? Are they having a party over there? What's going on, bro? So Trickster gets mad. He gets pissed. He goes, "Why ain't you talking back to me? I'm going to." So he starts walking up, determined he's going to, and he gets close enough, and he sees it's a stump
Yep.
with a tree branch sticking out.
Yep.
Got to find that 10%.
That's right. Yep. So I wrote two poems today. One
Cool.
is simply a list of words,
Hey,
and then the other one is not iambic pentameter because it's not 5 syllables, but
yeah,
it does go to a ba 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 beat.
yeah,
Okay, so
that.
I'm going to read the first one.
Okay.
Hot, humid, mosquitoes, ticks, flowers, gardens, veggies picked, butterflies, nests, fledgling birds, water, lakes, kayaking, in other words, summer.
Forgot to put hot in there.
It was the first one. It was the
Okay.
first thing. Yeah, hot,
Yeah.
humid.
Okay. Hot.
Yeah,
Or scorching. Yeah, the more like
yeah,
scorching.
exactly.
Scorching hot.
Yes,
But yeah, it's
surface of
like
the sun.
you're saying those, and I'm like, okay, yeah, that's my yard. That's outside. It's outside. It's freaking hot. It's good.
That's my
It's good.
yard. That's my yard. Except I
Yeah.
don't have a vegetable garden.
I don't either. That's
Yeah.
one of the things that maybe next year, yeah,
Hmm.
if I'm do one of the many things I might want to do. But yes, I agree with Indigo Twin. That was really nice.
Thank you. Thank you very much. So
I don't
yeah,
have.
when I do poetry, for me, it's
Yeah.
even if it doesn't rhyme, I do try to. I don't try to rhyme. In my head, it sounds better if there is some rhyming scheme somewhere.
Yeah, it's
But for me, it's the meter. If
yes,
you don't have it a meter, it makes no sense. Even if it does rhyme, it won't make sense.
well, let me read one to you
Hmm.
that is free verse, no meter, no rhyme.
Okay. Okay.
Uh, I don't. It's called Maybe.
Okay.
I haven't written anything today. Don't think the inning's over. Not in a slump, just an off day. Those happen. Sometimes more often, sometimes less often. That's the way the pitch flies by, you know. You swing, hit, miss. It doesn't matter. You just gotta step up to the plate. Maybe it's a miss day. Maybe it's a hit day. Maybe I wrote something good. Maybe I didn't write something good. Who knows? Maybe.
That's good. I like it. I
Yeah.
like the possibilities in it, right?
Yeah. And you
That's
see, I
that's
did
what gets
do
me.
I did do the little beats in there. There was a rhythm to it,
Right. Yeah.
but yeah.
Yeah. The next one I wrote was more like, I think it was Misha who said that it is um yeah, it was Misha who said that
Hmm.
it's journaling, just fancier, right?
Yeah.
So this was essentially my journal entry for today. When I sit down to write, I'm frequently afraid that whatever I have is better left unsaid. My inner voice says I have no chance of inspiring others to go out and dance. The truth is that I'm not alone in my fears of rejection, of being alone. I'm in a family found round the world who loves and will dance with this insecure girl.
Cool.
So that's generally how I feel about myself. I may seem very secure and very confident, and it's a mask that I wear, and I wear it well until I
Called the
can't, and then I am a puddle.
that's that inner imposter.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah,
Yep.
I had to deal with that with my, I got rejected with that one contest that I entered my poem into, and
Absolutely.
I even paid for an entry fee, and it was just like, oh, and then I, turned around,
Yep.
and this place here
There you go.
that we talked about. See here, I got all my. These are some of the ones like
Right.
several of these. I was these three are the ones I actually have poems in, and the other others they sent me. So
Mm.
tomorrow at
Hmm.
2 p.m. Central Standard Time,
Okay.
I am going to be doing a live poetry reading featuring poems from these.
Ooh, so 2 p.m. Let me write that down so I don't
Yeah,
forget.
that's
It
1
would be
p.m.
1 p.m. for me.
Mm-hmm. So yes, it's the journal is called Westward Quarterly, as you can see, Westward Quarterly. It's they call it's their tagline is the magazine for family friendly reading,
Okay.
or the magazine of family reading. So
Okay.
yeah, but there's some very good stuff. There's some good stuff in here, and I'm gonna, you know, of course, read the ones that I've gotten in there, and
Yeah.
you just read random ones from there, and I figure I should be able to fill 30
Yeah.
minutes with that tomorrow.
Yes. Well,
That's the
that's
only other
fun.
thing I got planned, and Indigo Twin, we need to talk.
Okay.
Yeah,
That sounds a little mysterious.
nah. Well, no, the Indigo Twin writes.
Ah.
So it's
Okay.
all.
So yeah, tomorrow I don't really have anything until, yeah, I'm
Yep.
pretty much free the day. So I'll see if I can pop in.
Well, it's cool. It'd
Send
be
me a
nice.
link.
Yeah.
Send me a link to the site you'll be at.
All right,
Okay.
so here I can do that actually right here. I can put it in the private chat here.
Sure.
And
Perfect.
wrong thing, wrong one. Here's this right there. Yeah, shareable link. Got the link. Uh, and then, oh yeah, here's the link. I'll put it in the private chat for you. And
Hmm.
there, so there's that. And
Perfect. Well, thank you. Those are going to be some good videos for me to, well, one a live to watch, but then that video
yeah,
of a interview you did the other day. So,
yeah,
or was it
that,
yesterday or a couple days ago?
I did it on Monday.
Okay, so a few days ago.
Yeah, it was a few
All
days ago.
right.
It was Monday.
Okay.
But I hate to say it, but my brain's all tapped out. So
Okay. Well, my friend, thank you for taking the time
no
to
problem.
be with us. Misha has also put the link in the chat for your poetry reading.
Okay, well, will you bring that up? What Joe? Joel?
Joel, yeah,
Yeah, I
I've
want.
been writing a song about losing a pet and adopting another. I call it a I call it Lost and Found, work in progress. Oh, that sounds wonderful.
Send it to me. I look forward to reading it if you want to send it to me. Oh, oh, poor Pamela.
Poor Pamela. And she just got
Oh,
here.
this guy here.
Well, if any of you wants to come on and visit with me for a little while, if Bryan needs to leave, I can definitely send the link into the chat, and
Yeah,
we can just come on and have a chat.
yeah,
So,
yeah.
yeah,
My brain, like I said, my brain's all mush now. I've been.
that's fair.
It was a freaking emotional. Well, this morning I was up early because I had to get a ride into town with a buddy of mine, and he likes to
Mm,
go to work at 5:30.
mm-hmm.
So I was
Yeah,
up that early, and then when you got to face the music, it's very anxiety, writing when
oh, absolutely. Yep.
yeah. So all
Yes.
that stuff, and so
Yeah. Actually, a
anyway,
few of my future guests are on right now. So Mary is going to be here on Tuesday the 6th,
cool.
and we'll be talking about One Last Hug.
Uh,
So she is going to go see her aunt who has been given a terminal diagnosis,
oh,
and she is
oh,
going to be making that pilgrimage to give her just that one last hug.
yeah.
Kristen Melinda,
I recently
sorry.
lost. I recently lost one of my beloved aunts. Uh, I
Oh,
talked about it. I talked about it the last week when we were on. I read that poem.
right. Yes, yes.
Yeah, yeah. She is. Yeah. So I totally get it. I totally get it. I'm just really
Yeah,
sorry that I. Yeah.
yeah. Well, Kristen is supposed to be on the 8th, but if you're still on here, Kristen, give me a shout because um, I need to talk to you about if we can change the timing of that particular evening. Misha is going to be here on the 13th.
Cool.
Sandy Wandy is going to be here on the 15th. And Pamela, or Don Gloves, is going to be
Yeah.
here on the 27th. So,
Cool. Okay.
yes,
So some stuff to look forward to this month. Cool. Good.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The only thing I got, like I said, I'm doing a solo one tomorrow. I've already got a
Hmm.
guest. I already got a guest lined up for next week,
Great.
and then I'll need some people for hint to anybody out there for the rest of the
Hit me
month,
up.
and then
Hit.
I will figure it out from there.
Hmm.
But yeah, I'm gonna if so. Yeah, I'm done.
You're done. Your
I
brain
am.
is
My
mush.
brain is now mushy. I'm surprised you don't see it leaking out my ears. Uh, but it's nice to have.
Yeah.
It's nice to be back on, and yeah,
Thank you so much for your
no
time.
problem.
I
No
really
problem.
appreciate it.
Yeah, I
Thank
appreciate you
you.
having me on.
All
I
right.
work at
And
your
we'll do
normal
it again in
time.
September.
The one thing, the My stream times are flexible and the days are flexible.
Okay.
The either Friday, Saturday, or Sunday. The reason
Mm-hmm.
I like to do it in the afternoon is because people across the pond.
Mm,
It's doing it in the afternoon here. We're I
yeah.
am 6 hours behind the UK. So if you do it sometime like be one between 1 and 4, it gives them time. Their evening do theirs. So yeah.
Right.
So we'll talk Indigo Twin. We'll talk offline.
Perfect. And Indigo Twin, if you ever want to come on this show, just text or give me a shout. You can
Yeah.
email me. I will put
Yeah.
up my email address here.
Mm.
And yeah, email me, and I would love to be able to chat with you. That'd be great.
All right. Again, so I'll see everybody on the flip side.
All righty.
I'll
Talk to you
see you
later,
later
Bryan.
tomorrow.
Okay. Bye
Bye.
bye. Okay. So, is there anybody who would like to have a chat, who has anything that they would like to discuss? Maybe some poetry or some writing that you have been doing, even if you haven't done it yet. Perhaps an idea or two, something like that. I'm looking off to the side so I can take a look at the chat. So, yeah. Oh, thank you, Indigo. Great. And yeah, Sandy Wandy, you'd like to come up? Absolutely. Okay. Let me put the link in the email or in the chat. And there we go. Alfonso, feel free to come on and we can chat. All right. Well, here you go, handsome. How you doing? Oh, you're muted. I can't hear you.
Check, check. Can you hear me? Check. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
All right. How are you?
I'm
I've been
good.
having issue
How are
with my
you?
audio lately.
Good. Okay.
Yeah,
So
yeah. I
how have you
had to.
been doing? You've been doing a lot of music?
Yeah. Then I'm working on my website, the fourth wall merch. And trying to.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Hi, Mary.
Hi, Mary.
Hi.
Hi.
And lately I've been doing some tactile graphics, tactile prints.
Oh, okay. Yes.
So you can really touch the feel. And then the
You
braille part.
you feel where you would put the colors or anything like that? Is
Well,
it
mostly.
digitally or is it?
Well, I take it from my actual photograph and then I convert it to outline.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And then it's printed on swell touch paper.
Hmm.
It's a special
Interesting.
paper that you can run through any printer or any a regular
Yeah.
printer.
Yeah.
Then you run what happens. You run the swell touch paper through a heat press, and it swells up the black ink.
Oh, cool. That is so neat.
Yeah,
And
so
that
you
would make
could.
it a whole lot easier to do. Yes,
Yeah,
absolutely. The braille?
yeah,
Yeah. Oh, wow. Okay.
yeah. It has braille. So basically,
Okay.
you could download the braille font.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah,
Well,
but however, this kind of paper is expensive.
I can only imagine.
So the swell touch
Anything that
paper.
would do heat uh, reactive, anything like that would be very expensive.
Oh yeah, this is usually like $1.20 per sheet. Imagine buying a whole pack of 100. They're about $150.
Holy moly.
Depending on the size, you have like
Wow.
regular 8.5 by 11. Now the 11 by 17, you're looking around $285.
Wow.
And I
That's
had these,
wild.
printed at my talking book library here in Colorado. And
Okay.
normally they don't do that because they're
Ah,
expensive to
for
print.
sure.
And
Yes.
here's another one that's my favorite piece right here.
Oh, that's beautiful. Saddle Rock Ridge Copper Canyon Railroad.
The
Okay.
Copperleaf Canyon.
Copperleaf Canyon. Sorry.
Yeah, it's
Yes.
very fictional because it's just a picture of my model train that I took.
Okay.
That when I go on the trail, I take carry some of my stuff and I take pictures real close up.
Neat. And it does look full size, doesn't it?
Yeah, when you
Oh,
get it
that's
really really
wonderful.
close.
Yes.
But now
Look
that I
at
got
the
it print in
detail.
tactile print, you could feel like the ground, the grass, the gravel.
Yes.
You could feel
Absolutely.
the locomotive, everything. And it's
Wow.
in braille. Well, and I got my logo too right there.
Right. Oh, there you go. And what does the braille say the same thing as
Oh
the
yes,
print on
yes,
top?
yes. It says the same thing on top.
Okay.
Yeah, it just looks. Yeah, like I've just been very fortunate to get these because I took part of a summer reading program to my
Oh,
talking
okay.
book library.
Okay.
So they were kind enough to print it for me just like for a one time deal. Like I don't think it's not gonna
Nice.
be able to do it all the time.
No. No, that's for sure.
Yeah,
Oh, that's fabulous. I love it.
yeah. Because they say that the paper is expensive and the machine, the heat press that they run it through, it's like about $1,000 heat press.
Wow. Wow.
I
Okay.
searched online see how they do it, but I found one person that does it a cheaper way. Like
With
he
an
just buys the
iron or
swells.
something maybe?
No,
Or
no, using a heat lamp.
really?
Yes,
Okay.
but then you might not get it very good because you might overexpose it and the ink will,
And it'll come uneven as
yeah,
well.
uneven and then
Yeah.
to the ink. You overdo it, overexpose it, the ink gonna burst.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense. Because if it
Yeah,
swells too much.
yeah.
Yeah. So
It's
Misha wants to know if it feels like the velvet prints that you used to be able to get.
not really. It's
Okay.
I don't think velvet. I don't think so. But it depends how intricate. These are very intricate pieces. Most of the pieces that I've seen personally are more basic outline.
Mm,
But these are my personal creations. They're more intricate. There's a lot of more detail. That's why.
yeah.
So
Oh, very
you can
nice.
feel the trees, the outline of the mountains, the barn.
When I was teaching English, I had one student who was visually impaired.
Right,
Like yourself, she wasn't fully blind, but she was visually impaired. So try teaching somebody who doesn't know how to read or write in their own language,
right,
can't see, and anyway, all of that stuff. So what I did was I did the alphabet, and then I used glue and I put coffee grounds on it so she could
right.
feel the shape of the letter. And so she knew her alphabet like that. She knew exactly what it was. And yeah, for her to be able to have the freedom, like what you're doing right now with those pictures, to have
Right.
it opens up that opportunity to
Yes.
communicate. That's wonderful.
Yeah, because unfortunately, you don't see tactile prints very much because the expense to make them. Then, but the only tactile prints I've seen personally over the years are maps.
Okay, yes, yes.
Like in the science
Cool.
museum, I seen I see my state map in tactile form. I see my
Right?
state map where you can feel like the tactile part of like the mountain, the river, of the interstate highways.
Yep, yep. It's almost like a topographical map.
Yeah, yeah, topographical
So
map.
that's right. I remember globes used to be made that way as well, to
Globes,
be able
yeah,
to
they're
tell
kind of
terrain changes and
yeah, kind of tactile feel,
yep,
called
absolutely.
topographical maps, right?
That's right. Yep. Oh, that's
So
cool.
yeah, so that's what they have in museums, the topographical maps that are very tactile. That's what it
Oh,
is, basically.
okay, okay. All
So
right.
like so
Indigo Twin has a
each
very interesting comment here, Alfonso. Indigo Twin is going to
yes,
have to write down this technology because their niece may go blind as she ages. We're teaching her ASL, so American Sign Language, but we may also have to do tactile sign language. She's also got cochlear implants, but the
right,
whole process of speaking and communicating with somebody who has such significant problems, that's a whole challenge right there. Oh,
There's
I
some
can't
good
hear you, Mary.
resources.
There's
Oh, again, nope.
there-
It cuts in and out.
Your audio cuts out.
Yep. I can sort of lip read.
I'll come back. Work.
Okay, perfect. Okay.
Yeah, so
All
like I
right.
said, tactile form is a great way for someone who's vision impaired, to
Yes.
feel like it
Yeah.
just it just hasn't been around much.
Right.
It's
I
not very
haven't.
common because it's too expensive, but I do have a machine to write braille.
Oh, is it like a typewriter?
Yes, this is it right
Yes.
here.
Look at that. Okay.
And that's what I used to make my CD labels out of.
Oh, fun. Okay, indigo. I
Can you hear me back?
Yep, we can hear you better.
If you take leftover yarn, go and get red heart yarn from like Walmart. Take it and take it out and put it on letters. That would be
Yes,
a way.
that's right. Yep. Gluing red heart yarn onto the letter forms
Yep. All right.
is a wonderful way to be able to do that. Yep. I didn't have yarn at the time, but I had lots of coffee.
Yeah, and I don't know if you can see it, but I got braille on
Oh,
the
yes.
CD.
Yes, I see that. Okay. And indigo, I know some ASL, and I started learning ASL about 23, 24 years ago, and I still use it a little bit. You're very new to ASL, and you have to try to learn to catch up to your family. Absolutely. Yep. I have a friend. The friend I have who taught me ASL is from Arkansas. Well, she grew up in Michigan, but she now lives in Arkansas
Let
with
me
her
get a
sister.
paper.
So again, you're cutting out, Mary. I don't know why.
Perhaps.
Oh, perhaps I heard the perhaps. Sorry. Nope. I'm
So the kind
sorry.
of paper my braille writer used, it can use any cardstock paper.
Oh, okay. Nice and
Ah,
thick.
yeah.
It'll really hold its body.
Yes.
Yes. Oh, that's neat. Look at that.
Yeah. So you can for like a regular 8.5 by 11 size cardstock paper into the brailler.
Right?
Yeah, I just gotta take it in slowly because sometimes I'm having a problem with where it jams sometimes.
Yes. Yeah, I can see that. Yeah.
Then I took it in correctly, so it kind of jammed. I don't know
Yeah,
why.
do the other side. No, it's catching under the front lip of the
Yeah, I don't
writer
know.
there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, no.
That's why I don't like. That's the only thing I don't like is the braille, the paper
For
jams, and
sure.
then
Yeah.
yeah. So I'm just
Yeah.
using a plain cardstock, that they sent me from
Right.
Hadley School, which I
Right.
don't care if I ruin it. Just like
Right. Yeah. Okay.
yeah. So what's your channel name?
My channel name is My Other's
Okay.
Keeper.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, because it got stuck. So
It did get stuck.
yep, it tore now.
Oh no. Okay.
Yeah, that's that's what I hate about this Brawler. Paper
Yeah.
jam all the time. Then
I had a friend when I was very young. We were living in a little town in northern Alberta,
yeah,
and she was blind. Her husband was he had he was albino, so he was mostly blind.
right.
And she could actually write her name out in braille, and she had just a she would use cardstock like what you're using, but she would do it
Yeah,
by hand instead
yeah.
of on a
Yeah.
scaler.
You could use what's called slate and stylus. That's what's called.
Yes, yes, that's what she would use.
Yeah, a slate and stylus, which is something that I got over here.
Yes.
Let me see
Okay.
where to have my. I keep losing my stylus. Let me see if I have in my other
Oh
room.
no. Okay. So another person that I would like to have on is Mary's daughter Christina, and she is in the process of learning how to train dogs and train them to be. I believe she's in the process of training them to be personal assistant type dogs. So not necessarily a service dog, but the emotional support dog. I think that's what she's after. So I'm going to have her on later this month, maybe the 22nd or 29th or something like that.
Yeah, this
So,
my. Okay, this is a slate and stylus that I use for braille.
okay. All right. Look at that.
But with this, you're actually writing backwards.
Exactly. Yes. You have to know it backwards and forwards and all of that stuff.
Yeah.
Yep. That's what she would use. I agree, Misha. She is going to be so amazing at that. Her heart is huge, and her Christina's talent with animals. It's more than a talent. It's like a gift. It's like something that she has been able to just be able to foster. So, Mary, did you find some headphones or something?
No, but I got my Chromebook out.
There you go. I can hear you now. Okay. Okay.
Um, I just wanted to tell everybody thank you for today.
Hmm.
And if whatever you're going through and you don't think connection makes a difference, it does.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Don't suffer in silence. Reach out when you're struggling. I went to the grocery store and I'm like, I really want a chocolate bar, and I go, no. You
Good
have to
girl.
reach. You have to reach out for connection because this is really hard.
Oh wow.
See,
Well,
my
Alfonso just
other's
typed
keeper.
out my he just typed out my channel name in Braille.
That's
That is
cool.
so cool. Thank you, Alfonso.
Yeah.
And Mary, I really hope that you're able to raise the funds to be able to go see your aunt. I mean, that is
My aunt's coming here. Um,
oh,
because
okay.
it would cost too much for all of us to go there, so she's coming here. But I think it's a really important topic
It
to
is.
talk
It so
about,
is.
and that's why I started the hashtag one last hug, because I thought
Absolutely.
we need to have a topic about this
You know
because
Yeah.
what? You're very fortunate that you get to have a chance to say your final goodbyes. I did not
Mhm.
get a chance to say goodbye when I left New Mexico.
I didn't think I was going to have one. We didn't think so because of the chemo, and they've had to just
Mhm.
stop it because it's growing. Um,
Right.
and this was just a wish, and it's slowly people are starting to make it happen. It will. I'm a determined person, and it will. But it would cost all Josh and my mother and five of us to fly down there, so it doesn't make sense. It's better
No,
for her
it
to
doesn't.
come
But
here.
and to be able to do it healthfully, I guess that would be my only concern. But if she's already made those arrangements with her doctor, fabulous.
Oh, they've
Yeah,
stopped the chemo. There's no sense to continue it.
yeah. And I just made arrangements with your beautiful daughter. She is going to be on my channel on the 22nd. That's what I was typing as you were talking. So she's going to come on and talk about dog training on the 22nd. So that's
That'll
awesome.
be that'll be a good distraction because Patty goes home on the 22nd. And
Oh,
I want to talk about too that if we can't always plan for things that happen in our lives,
absolutely.
but I know
Yeah,
this is coming. I
yeah,
know that she's going to get on that plane and then the hard's going to be even harder than what it is right now.
yeah,
And so, how do you make sure that you're prepared and you're not going to food or you're not going just isolating yourself because you don't want to deal with the pain?
absolutely.
So, how
When
do you
my
deal with all that?
Yep, when my stepdad was dying, um, he had Alzheimer's for quite a number of years, and he was in a home. And he had gotten to the point with Alzheimer's where we can talk about this again on Monday or on Tuesday, but we can talk about it now as well. He got to the point where he was not able to communicate well. He could barely talk, so his voice was very soft because he was never using it. So when he got super sick, like he got very physically ill, and they took him off, they didn't know what was making him sick. So they took him off every one of his medications, everything, so that they could put him on little bit by little bit and hopefully tackle what was wrong. Well, in the period of time that they took him off of those medications, he came back to us. So for what was it, about 3 weeks, we had dad back. He it was just a beautiful thing. So let me encourage you, Mary. This time that you're going to have with your aunt is going to be so hard, so hard. But the good thing for us, for our family, the celebration of his life was a celebration of his homecoming, right?
Yeah,
And that I'm just getting teary thinking about it. It was one of the most beautiful funerals I have ever been to. And I am so, so grateful for the time we have. So, Mary, I am so grateful for this time you're going to have with your aunt. Oh, what a blessing, my friend.
yeah. It's and then when you factor in the fibromyalgia on top of it, my body hurts
Absolutely.
so bad because
Yeah.
it's been so
And when you're
stressful.
stressed, it just blows up.
And we went to the pool today, and we just went in the pool and swam. And Josh ended up splashing me at one point, and I laughed. And this guy came up to us, and he said, "You didn't splash her the right way." And we ended up talking to him, and he was trying to make us laugh the whole time we were in the pool, and he was talking with us. And I just said, "You don't know how much this means." And every time I thought about crying, my husband's like, "No, I'm going to splash you again." You can't.
That's right.
Um,
Yeah.
so it's just, and this the everybody's just been saying to me, "We're here for you. Don't. We're all here. If anybody
Absolutely.
needs to talk, if you need to ugly
Yep.
cry on the phone,
Yep.
you know, we're here." And I'm just like, and I reached out to my community today and said, if anybody wants to help her, here it is. And
Hmm.
people have been reaching out a little bit by little bit and saying, and somebody is reaching out in a big way, and I'm very grateful
Oh, wow.
for at least half of it
Oh, that
because
is wonderful.
it's just it's a lot.
Yeah. Yeah. I only
So
caught like some of your live, just maybe
yeah,
just a few minutes,
yeah,
um, but enough
and
to know that I wish I could help financially. I
well,
just
God's got
can't.
this.
That's
God
right.
has this, and Cricket from Chayan Smut. When we started, when this came together so quickly, and
Yeah.
Tuesday we were looking for stuff, and my mom's in our head is just spinning,
Oh,
and
for sure.
I'm like, Mom, I can't do this. She said, neither can I. And I'm like, I know who to call. So
Hmm.
Cricket has been so helpful to find flights and navigate all of it and help us
That's
with
her
it.
wheelbase right there. Yep.
And I'm like, thank you, because I can't deal with it. She's like, you're dealing with enough. And I'm like, thank
That's
you.
right.
I can't. So know when you're at a point where you're saying enough's enough and I need help.
And this
You know,
community, because we are
yeah,
so diverse. I mean, I love this little camera in front of me because I can look at my friend Mary and say, you know what? I can't give you a hug, but I'm giving you a hug,
yeah.
you
I
know?
had a lot of hugs
And
today.
absolutely, absolutely. And Alfonso, what did you write? What was the next message that you wrote there?
The blessed to crochet
That's awesome.
Oh, fantastic.
in Braille
In
That's
Braille,
awesome.
look at that.
That's awesome.
using the slate
Oh,
and
that's
stylus right here.
oh,
That's
look at
awesome.
that. What a great little piece of machine, well, not machinery, but it's a great tool to have.
Yeah,
Yeah,
And
especially when your brailer doesn't work.
and
right.
I'm doing my crochet, but I'm doing some paint pour, and
Yes,
'cause I'm doing some. I have an upcoming show with my mom in November, and I'm saving all of it till after my aunt leaves so that I could go outside and paint pour and get my
absolutely.
mind off of it
Yep,
with my community.
yep.
And they said that's a really good distraction.
Yes,
So
it
if
is. It's
Christina's
wonderful.
a little bit sad, you'll know why Tuesday. But I think
Absolutely.
it's good
Okay.
for her to talk about
Yes.
too.
Okay. Absolutely.
So,
Okay. I
so
love Indigo Twin. They're a new member in this chat, and they are, their heart is so beautiful. Their heart is just gorgeous. And yeah,
You know
I'm
what?
really,
You know what I've been
really
told here in
appreciating them.
Colorado. When I first
What's
came
that?
up here, I started getting counseling for the last, the first 3 years I've been up here. I had to get counseling as ordered by
Right?
court, pick up the guardianship and custody and all that I
Right?
had to go through.
Okay.
Being brought up abruptly from New Mexico, and they told me that I have a really weak heart.
Oh no.
My counselor said I have a big heart, but real weak, very sensitive.
Mm-hmm. I wouldn't say that sensitive is weak. I would say that it's strong because you are sensitive, you can hold so much in it, right? And you feel everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
So
would
what
say
they
that's a
told me
strength.
here that I need to be a cold-hearted person. I don't understand what they mean.
No. No, no, no. Do not listen to that. Do not listen to
I don't
that.
know what that means.
That means you need to not care. That's what that means. You need to not care. My completely unprofessional, non scientific advice would be this: care, but allow yourself to take care of yourself
Right.
while you're caring, right?
Right.
So, for example, I could beat myself up because I cannot do XYZ for Mary right now. I could
Right.
totally beat myself up for that. But my heart is there for her. And what I can do best is I can pray.
Right.
And that's what you can do, right?
Yeah.
And so
Because when I
take,
got brought up here, here's the thing. Because I was missing my friends and everybody back
yep,
home, and
yep.
they told me that I had to let it go completely to be able to
Oh,
adjust being up here. And I still can't do that. I'm still to this day. I'm still haunted.
well, haunting, I don't think you can let anything go completely. Well, at least I haven't been able to, but that hasn't made me bitter. It hasn't made me angry. It hasn't made me all sorts of things that it could if I allowed it to fester.
Right.
I was telling Misha today that the dark things, when they're held in the dark, will be toxic. But when you
yeah,
let that dark thing out into the light, it loses its power.
Okay.
So that's what this channel is about. We take those dark things, and they are sometimes hard to talk about. But man, once you've talked about it and people in the chat are able to support you through it, like what Mary's going through right now, we all just hold her up in our prayers, in our hands, in our hearts. And that's the same thing you can do, Alfonso. You can take this, whatever big scary thing is,
Right.
bring it to a chat and tell us or tell whoever people in your own community, what is going on, and allow them to hold you up
Yeah,
and take that big
and
scary thing
and
out of
I've
the
been
dark.
told now that I'm not supposed to be talking about my hometown anymore.
Oh, okay.
That's what I've been told for the last last few years that I've been here.
Oh,
It's a part of you. It always will be.
that's
Yeah,
exactly right. Yes, that's exactly right.
about
And
my heritage, about my
That's right.
where I'm
that's
from.
that's
Yeah.
why I started that disco ball, the Blessed Disco Ball Warrior Group, is because I thought we have to shine a light on the way that we use food. I
Right.
know
Yep.
I do, as a way of using food to numb.
That's right. See,
And
now here's my
that's
disco ball.
and Misha, you can, if if you go to, it's a private group, so you have to ask to come in, but I also put the link in the lifeboat.
Okay.
But
Yes. Yes.
it's just there for like people that said, like, I lost this much, or I gained a pound, or I'm struggling
Mhm.
with this. And, the other
Mhm.
day I really wanted to go get ice cream and I put it in there, and everybody's like, don't do it. And I'm like, I'm not, but you know how bad I want to just go right now because I don't want to feel the pain.
Yes. Exactly.
And so that's there for people for support. We were going to kind of do, you and I on Tuesday talk about what I'm starting with the weight loss, but I'm like,
Exactly. Yeah.
that can
The
happen
hug
later,
thing, I think, is more
is
more
more
important.
important. And
Yeah.
please know I may cry through it.
That's okay. That's okay. I have Kleenex.
um,
Look, I have Kleenex you can use right there.
um, but we'll get through it. And I know that I've got to make sure that I have people around me when she leaves and when we
Absolutely.
get that phone call.
Yep.
Which
Absolutely.
she knows where she's going. She said it. I know where I'm going. And the one thing
Amen.
I want to do is give her a big hug and say, when you
Yep.
see Dad,
Yes.
hug him for
Yes.
me.
Absolutely. Yep. And Crystal's right. Tears are healing. Tears are so healing.
They're healing,
You
but
know.
I've had 3 days of on and off, and I'm about done. Okay, the
Just
waterworks has to stop.
don't turn off. When my parents split up, I turned off the part of me
Yeah,
that grieved because
yeah,
I couldn't handle it anymore. Unfortunately, I didn't know at the time, but I was also turning off the joy.
yeah,
And that was the other side of the same coin, right? So allow yourself the time you need because there will be, to everything, there is a season, my friend. You know this.
yeah.
And there will be time for joy and rejoicing.
I
But
just
right
want,
now is the time to grieve.
I just want to be able to enjoy her here. That's the
Absolutely. Take her
so.
out for a really big greasy burger.
Tuesday we can come up with strategies, so I'm not spending the entire time crying. Well, she's here because I don't want to do that.
Absolutely. Take her to Amish country.
Yeah. Oh, we are. We're
Yep.
gonna take her to the Amish country. I even said to somebody, "Let's haul out the Christmas tree." I even said it to my mom. I'm like, I don't think we'll do that, but somebody said, "Celebrate
Okay.
all the seasons." Christina's birth,
Absolutely.
Christina's birthday is in September, so she said, "You know what? Go ahead and we're going to celebrate Christina's birthday early, and she wants to go fishing, and so it'll all work." Um,
Misha has a very good point. Apparently, tears are extra refillable. They last for days, weeks, months, or years. They may go sometimes and they'll come when they're least expected, but they never seem to run out.
yeah,
And it's the same with tears as it is with grace
yeah,
and mercy and love,
yeah. So
right?
we'll
Yeah.
get there.
Yes. And you will get there with a little help from your friends.
Oh, I have tons of them, and I'm so grateful, and that's why I wanted to come on. I know you messaged me early and said, "Do you want to come on?" And I'm like, "No." I thought I have to come on and just tell everybody thank you. And don't suffer when you're going through a hard time. We're all here for each
Oh,
other.
absolutely. Yep. Absolutely. Yeah. Anyway, my friends, I think we're going to shut down for the night. And
Maybe
Crystal's right.
y'all.
God bottles and saves all of our tears. So we're going to shut down for the night. Mary, I will see you again for sure, like this, on the 6th, on Tuesday. And we will go in as deep or as shallow or as whatever you need for that day. Okay.
I want to I want to the main purpose of doing it is telling a little bit about Patty's story, but encouraging people to, yeah, you're going to get through
Fantastic.
things, but don't do it by yourself. Don't do it
Yeah.
with, you know, food isn't solutions, isolation isn't the solution, drugs and alcohol isn't solutions.
That's
Connection
right.
is the key.
Indigo Twin has an
Connected to him.
amazing point of view here. Grief has a secret stage. The eighth stage of grief is joy. You can feel every feeling, but it's also okay to feel the joy. And I have to admit, in the past, I have felt guilty for feeling joy in the period of time when I was supposed to be grieving because I didn't think it was the right thing to do. But I do know that God has put joy in my heart. In fact, joy is my middle name.
Yeah, we love
So
you, Kim.
thank
And let
you.
me tell you, I don't know if it's good or bad, but when I first came to Colorado, because my parents, my situation, my mom and dad being
Mm-hmm.
separated, domestic violence, and all that, I didn't want to be up here in the first place. But
Right.
I wrote I turned to my music. I wrote a song, and about wanting to go back to New Mexico, to my hometown,
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think I can release the song because the lyrics are very explicit because it talks explicitly how I wanted to get on a train and
Mm-hmm.
hitch right back.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think it would be appropriate for me to play that song because the lyrics are
Okay.
very explicit.
Okay.
I don't know what you consider explicit, but it doesn't have foul language. It's just because the way the song talks about how I wanted to hop on a freight train to try to get back,
Mm-hmm. Okay.
But
and
you expressed your emotions through music,
yeah.
Absolutely.
and
And
that's
that's
okay.
exactly what Brian was talking about with poetry tonight as well. And I do through art. Occasionally, I will through poetry. That is something I used to do more in high school, and it's a skill and a talent that I have not fostered in recent years. But yeah. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, good night, all. Rick, you lurker, you. Uh,
Go
thank you
check
for
out the
coming.
lifeboat.
Check out the
Lifeboat's coming.
lifeboat.
It's coming
Yes,
on
check out
next.
Blessed to Crochet. Check out Blind Maid Productions by Alfonso. Check
Yeah.
out all of these amazing channels. Misha, Awakened by the Looking Glass's Reflection. All of these amazing channels have such specific yet general love to give. We each have our own wisdom, we each have our own point of view, and that expands each of our points of view as well. And we all need that. So have a good night. Um, yeah, I need to go eat some supper now. I'll
Have a
talk
good
to you
night.
later.
Love y'all.
Okay.
Bye bye.
Yep. Bye bye.